Hello, 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 Internet! Welcome to yet another NextFest video. This is the demo for Restless Lands. It is a shock horror 2D Metroidvania. It starts off in exclusive full screen, which I absolutely loathe because it really messes up, especially when you default your game to 1080p or something like that. Please stop. Stop using exclusive full screen. It doesn't work properly under Windows 11 anyway. But moaning aside, the Restless Land has got 30 minutes of my time to entertain me, to grab me, to make me say, yes, I want to add this to my wish list, and it starts now. Start new game. We are straight in, and we do not have D-pad to move. We look like we are wearing a bra and a midriff. Oh no, I see. It is the buckle on our cape. That is an excellent start, Demajen. Well done. We have got attack on square, which is very quiet. The attack, I mean, not the... Ooh. Sorry, I just looked away from the monitor to check my volume levels, and I saw a big hammer thing. Don't know why it's doing that. Variable jump height and ledge grabbing. Down attack. Up attack. Bit stiff, but it'll do. Do we? Yeah, we don't automatically ledge up, which I appreciate. That was a very large tooltip box. In fact, these are very large tooltip boxes. Do they need to be that big? They occupy quite a lot of screen space. Could they be translucent, maybe? Press circle to dodge roll. Dodge roll allows you to... I mean, I'm a reasonably fast reader, but... Do we have a tutorial screen? No. No, we do not. Yeah, might want to do something about that. Because that disappeared far quicker than even I could read it. This looks like exactly the same area as the previous one. Pixel art on the backgrounds is nice. Pixel art on the main character is not. I thought for a moment then about how I wanted to phrase that, and I went with the most blunt option. If you take a look... I have a mouse cursor. Take a look at the detail on this grass, on this grass, on this ground, on these trees, and then look at the main character. The main character, I won't say I'd put money on it, but I suspect the main character has been drawn by a different person. And that really does look like an exposed bra top. Don't get me wrong, the animation, very nice. I like the animation on this kind of idle pose. And the movement isn't awful. I think having the cloak to disguise the arms is possibly a good... But I also like how the cloak is dramatically flung away with the smear frames or the combo. Yeah, that really... It just looks like a bra top. Is anybody else feeling this? It could do... I don't know. I don't know what you could do about that. But yes, the dissonance between the look of the character... should this have texture? That doesn't look right. really have any feeling of... No, there's more feeling of impact on that guy. But there wasn't much on the bats. The Ancient Covenant. The blue roses were born from an ancient covenant. It's doing that thing where the mouse cursor keeps appearing, and it's very annoying. An ancient covenant between gods and earth. Their roots intertwined with Yggdrasil's branches, their existence maintaining the balance of the 9 realms. This covenant was both blessing and burden. So we're going for Norse mythology here. We've got 2 different fonts. Actually, no, I think it might be the same fonts, but for whatever reason, the one in the box looks chubby, almost as if it's got a stroke outline, and that has had the unfortunate side effect of changing things like the S to basically get rid of the detail. I think it's the same font as this one. Yeah, but this one's got a nice kind of proper sharp pixel with a drop shadow, and this just doesn't. Also, why is stuff moving in the background? Is that the parallax trying to very slowly catch up? I think the audio balance on the sound effects is too low. Can I do... That hasn't changed anything. No. Oh no, it does change that. But it doesn't really make it very loud, and it's probably going to make other sound effects really loud. I don't know what this stuff is that I'm collecting, nor am I particularly sure I like the way it just randomly slides away from you. Hold L down and press square while in the air to pogo with a capital P. Pogo allows you to bounce off certain enemies or objects by attacking downward while airborne. By timing your downward attacks correctly on pogoable objects, you can gain extra height or cross large gaps. Mastering the pogo technique will help you reach higher platforms and explore new areas throughout your journey. That text does not quite fit in the box properly, but they have done. That is a very generous pogo. They have done what Hollow Knight has not, which is provide us with the tutorial for pogoing. Although, to be fair, the use of the phrase pogoing in this medieval game... Oh, I think I've died. Oh, not only have I died, but there's no checkpoints. So I have to go through the entire tutorial section again. Which feels a little bit time wasting, even though at least I don't need to... Oh, I could have read the dodge roll box again. There's no stamina bar. Oh, I think we lost all of our currency as well. See, I was expecting this to be a checkpoint, but it is not. Am I going to be able to retrieve my currency? Ledge grabbing is a little bit weird. Okay, no recovering of currency then. I am confused. Is it just because checkpointing isn't enabled for the demo? Or is this a conscious design decision? Okay, that actually hurts. I will say that in a game with this nice pixel art background, this doesn't look good. Also, has the fog gone... Has the fog texture gone 90 degrees? It looks like it's going the wrong... I mean, it's going the right way, and it's wibbling, but it looks fat. It's fat fog. Right, those feel like the candelabra guys from Blasphemous. Save points? Aha! Okay. Once again, I would hazard a guess that we have some different artists at work between the background tile sets and everything else. Hunter's Note 1. May Heimdall's eyes watch over me as I continue to investigate this curse. More land falls to the mist each day. Merchants from the northern fjords say all paths are blocked. There must be a solution in the old temple. The elders speak of inscriptions telling how our ancestors fought the mist. I'll make my way there. Just before I get ragged on in the comments, potentially by some developers themselves, as has happened in the past, I do appreciate that not all developers can afford to pay an artist to do all of the artwork for their game. You know, I would not be massively surprised if a lot of this background sprite work was asset store stuff. I'm assuming this is a Unity game. I haven't actually checked. Are we a Unity game? Let's just take a browse local files. Yes, we are a Unity game. Yeah, there's absolutely nothing wrong with using asset store stuff, especially for placeholders or for Berserker's Fury. But when there is such a clear discrepancy between your character sprites, your main tile set, the kind of details and style of these assets, it just adds to that kind of incongruousness of pixel art that makes people notice for the wrong reasons. Shattered Garden. In their final hour, the Guardians made the ultimate sacrifice. They scattered the power of the blue roses across the realm, trading their lives for hope. The sky wept that night, the earth trembled, and the world was forever changed. The actual text writing is nice. I quite like it. These once sacred woods are now cursed. Creatures have turned savage, and the paths are lost in the mist. A hunter came through here seeking the Hala's rune. Ancient tales say it has power over the mist. He left notes. Perhaps they'll lead you to it. If you can find that rune and clear the mist, there's an ancient mapstone fragment behind it. It's crucial to understanding these cursed paths. Fast travel points. Did I break the music by hitting the triangle button? It feels like I did. And that... I don't know whether you noticed that. That felt very... Let's see if I can do it again. Yeah. So what is happening there, based on my very limited understanding, is that just off the side of this camera, there's no actual collision surface on the ground. So we've hit the transition point, so it's loading the next scene, but it's also just dropping us because there's nothing there for us to actually stand on, which has tickled me greatly. Press R2 to shadow leap. Shadow leap allows you to latch onto special points called shadow stones. When you're within range of a shadow stone, hold the button to transform into smoke, connecting you to the shadow stone. Releasing the button propels you away in the opposite direction like a slingshot. It's... It's Bash from Ori, but not as good. Because we can't control it. At least, not right now. Now, I love the Bash ability in Ori. It is one of my favourite feeling Metroidvania powers across the 100 plus, 200 probably at this point, Metroidvania games that I have played. Valkyrie's key. Yeah. Don't get me wrong, this is not new or innovative. This has been done in many a game before, but if you compare the implementation here to, say, how the lantern ability is done in Somber Echoes, or how Ori does it, this is not... Just because you don't have control, it is a case of press the button at the right moment. I found the temple. Walls covered in ancient runes. Walls covered in ancient runes, comma, and the bodies of those who came before. By Thor's hammer, I never thought there would be so many. I won't repeat their mistakes. The temple's inner chamber is where the mist is thickest, but this morning at sunrise I saw a passage where the mist weakened. May Odin grant me strength. I'll try at dawn tomorrow. If you compare this text with this text, and the text that we had in the text box from the night, can you see why I think this, it just looks like it's eaten too much cake and it's gone fat? The same issue there. Unless it's an issue with the camera. No, that's a weird issue, but that should be easily fixable. I mean, hell, I know how to fix that. It's either a case of adding some collision volumes or freezing the character controller on the X and Y axes when you hit the transition. But I would assume extending just the basic kind of tile set collision volume, a couple of tiles to the right and left when you hit a doorway. Boss arena? What hit me then? I mean, it's not the world's most exciting combat. Hunter's Note 3. I found the cleansing rune, just as the ancient inscriptions describe. So, some of these sentences, quote unquote, aren't sentences. Just as the ancient inscriptions described. It's just as the ancient descriptions described? I found the cleansing room comma, just as the ancient inscriptions described. It's a fragment. It stood at the altar behind the mist, as if waiting for me. But I'm not alone. Things move in the mist. I can hear them. I must reach the northern temp. Northern temp. Full stop? Find the Haggler's rune to clear some of the mist in the forest. Have we done that? Was that a thing that we just did? When did we get that? Okay. Looks like we have the double jump possibility there. Did that... That didn't do it, but it did start us facing the wrong way. Now, assuming again that you have got your transition things flagged with a which direction you want the character to face when they load. Yeah, the fact that there's no kind of animation for these apparently important story / quest related things. Have I got any way of healing? I don't, do I? Or do I and I've just forgotten about it? Whoop. Oh, hold on. This is the way back, isn't it? Yes, because that's Candlelight, and there should be a save room through here. Aha! And that has given me all my health back. Okay, that's interesting enough. The fact that you can clear it going downwards to enable progression below. I noticed that every time... Can you hear that? Every time we transition between a room, the music clicks. Tyr's emblem. Inscribed with the rune of Tyr, god of war and justice. This charm grants the strength to stand unyielding. You remain anchored against the fiercest blow. A simple map marker to help travellers mark important locations. That would be great if we had a map, but we don't. Don't have enough currency because we lost a load of it because apparently there was no way of retrieving our currency upon death. Not the most dynamic combat. Yeah, that returns. There's a reasonable chunk of our attack's hitbox that doesn't actually count. Ah, a traveller. Care to hear a tale of these woods? Azure petals in morning light, sacred garden of Asgard's grace, until came the darkness of endless night, when Vetra's greed left not a trace. The blue roses that once bloomed here, now only mist and memories remain. Mind yourself in these woods, traveller. Not all who wander are as friendly as I. Whoop! No, okay. Yeah. So what we've got here is some questionable audio balancing that needs working on. We've got some work needed on combat feel, but there's some being done. We've just picked up an ability with no fanfare, no sound effect or anything. R1 to dash. Dash propels you swiftly forward in your current direction. Use it to evade enemy attacks, close distances quickly, and navigate obstacles with enhanced agility. Mastering the dash will greatly improve your mobility and help you overcome challenges throughout your journey. Okay, I can very much do without that massive screen wibbling effects. Especially if this is something that you are going to be using a lot, and this is the cooldown on it, so it's something that you can use quite a lot. Oops. Yeah. It doesn't feel bad. But that's just kind of obnoxious. Yeah, I could do without the screen wibble. It's a nice effect. I'm going to be honest. It is a nice effect. It's just a bit much. That was another instance where we spawned in facing the wrong way. It's a significant chunk of distance that you get from this. That was bold. Whoa. Don't get any pogo height on enemies, but we can just do that, which is, again, that's a combat thing that needs looking into. Yeah, another example of spawning the wrong way. Okay. That was the wrong button. As was that. There you go. Yeah, the dash ability actually feels decent. It feels like it's got a lot of momentum. It carries us a good way. I must say, without any kind of map, I am very, very aware of my lack of bearings. Can I... Okay, so it's a buzzsaw. Oh, okay. Suddenly some actual platforming. Oh, that's the wrong button. Oof. I think platforming like that without really being able to see that far ahead is problematic. Just one key missing. Right, that is the 30 minutes. So it's one of the few games so far this NextFest that has actually managed to make the 30-minute mark. So there's clearly some stuff here. Hold on, is there no contact damage? There's no contact damage. Oh, there is, however, me getting my ass handed to me. With no way of... Oh, that keeps enemies dead. Okay. With no way of healing. We do get a little bit of kind of contact feel when we hit enemies, but it's not amazing. Oops. Yeah, they're going for reasonably substantial platforming quite early on. Vetrar's descent. Vetrar was not born to darkness. Once the most compassionate of guardians, he sought to ease mortal suffering through magic. His studies into immortality have corrupted him, transforming him into the very darkness he once swore to fight. Oh, I've died. Ah, so I think oops. I think you lose a percentage of currency upon death. But yeah, not having any kind of healing ability at all is gonna make this frustrating. Maybe there was something that I've missed. Maybe there's a... But, shit. Maybe there's a button combo that I have forgotten. Do we have controls? Nope. The moving platforms don't feel quite right. You're a little bit stuttery on them. That's not going to ledge grab. Maybe checkpoints are spaced well enough apart. I really cannot imagine that as you've been playtesting your game, you haven't noticed that camera transition issue. Right, we've got a load of these Valkyrie keys, but I have no idea. Opening doors to unknown paths. Okay, we're going back this way. Yep. Anyway, the game's 30 minutes are up. I'm very torn on this. It's clear that some thought has gone into it, and it's got a lot of elements that I quite like, but it is lacking coherence in its pixel art. It is lacking audio balance quite significantly, and it is missing, for now, the all-important game feel. You know, it just doesn't always feel like I'm hitting things. The big wibbly screen effect from the dash is a bit too much, in my opinion. And some of the platforming that we've been asked to do in this first 30 minutes, I would argue is quite significant in terms of its challenge. Now, if you screw it up, there doesn't seem to be much in the way of penalty for falling on spikes or whatever. But what I will say is that these being the only way of recovering health does... it cuts down on the exploration. Also, we've got a... Is it just me, or is this a really obvious texture seam with some of these blocks? It seems like they've got a really hard edge. The purple stuff, it looks like a shader effect in a game that's otherwise very pixel arty. I mean, you've got this effect here, which is a nicely animated lightning effect, and then you've got this, which is a fuzzy blob. As I've mentioned, the tile set for the background, the far background, the foreground is all quite nice, but so far it's the only one we've seen in 30 minutes, and I would like a little bit more variety than that. The runic charm system is nice. I like having that one equipped to get rid of the purple, although it does then make me think, could this not just be a Metroidvania ability? When are we ever going to want to not use this, for example? You know, even these two icons here are completely different styles. We've got no map, and that is always a worrying thing. And I said that before about Metroidvania demos in NextFest, and I will undoubtedly say it again. And the music has just stopped. If you are going to create and release a Metroidvania demo, for whatever reason, can you please make sure that we can see what the map system is like? There are a lot of people, myself included, who... Oh, that transition does not work well. So again, that's probably a physics thing, where you are forgetting to disable the physics on your main character when they are transitioning between rooms. But yes, not being able to see what the map is like, what you are going for, and so on and so forth is... Oh, was that... Oh, were those the 2 Valkyrie keys that I needed? Excuse me? Excuse me? Oh. This is asking a lot. That's a lot of different buttons that you need to be pressing to do that. At least they put us a checkpoint straight after. That is a very... That's not a great shader effect for the water reflection. Boss? Boss. Cool animation on that. I'm pretty certain we're not supposed to see his attack hitboxes when he lands like that. Also, I'm pretty certain we're not supposed to have his health bar. Oh no, you haven't turned off the debug mode for his Oh, I've died. Okay, let's try that again. Sometimes the attack combo just doesn't react. Also, we do not get enough time to react to his charge attack. Why did that not dash? Yeah, that one. We have got no indication that is what is coming. Thank you for playing Restless Lands. Why does this text not fit inside your box? If you enjoyed the demo, we'd love for you to add the game to your wishlist. It helps us reach more players and keeps you updated on our progress. I am going to add that to my wishlist. I think that has got some potential. It's certainly not there yet, but there's some definite potential in the making. That hopefully there has been some decent feedback as regards this. Yes, there were some obvious issues with that boss in terms of... I don't know whether the red boxes were just the enemy's hitboxes or whether they were placeholders for an effect that would normally be there. The one thing that I would say about that boss is that its skewery charge attack is very quick and doesn't give you a... I don't think there's a tell for it. Everything else is absolutely fine. You know, you get the black spears on the ground that you can navigate around, and you know that after 3 he's going to come down and do an attack that goes left and right. So as soon as you've learnt that, that's fine. But I don't think you can learn the the chargy attack, because I don't think there was a tell for it. Maybe there was, and I just didn't see it. But it doesn't feel like there was. I'm not going to go over my points again, because I think I've probably said enough, and my throat started to go anyway. But in terms of, is this something I'm going to keep an eye on? Yes, I think it needs a fair amount of work, especially on the the pixel congruity and so on and so forth. But the actual game feel, for the most part, is fine. I think the platforming difficulty is a little bit much, maybe at the start of the game. The number of different buttons you have to press is quite significant to reach this, but it's given me an idea of what to expect. As long as it doesn't get much harder than that, I did the Path of Pain. I did all the hardest platforming stuff in Silksong and Grime and Prince of Persia. Although I believe they've added some other stuff in since I last played Prince of Persia, so I haven't done all the hard stuff. Yeah. Try this one out for yourselves, folks. As always with the NextFest coverage, let me know down below, what did you think of it? It's definitely rough around the edges, but there is some potential, I think, here. Thank you very much for watching. If any devs check out the video, let me know if the feedback was helpful for you, and I will catch everybody in the next video. Cheerio! Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, why not click the like button and consider subscribing. Remember, you can ring the bell notification icon to get notified when new videos go live. And until next time, cheerio.